The Apple Performance Management Code is still throttling iPhones right now, and the regulators who find Apple for it can't stop it. Somewhere in iOS right now, a background process is reading your battery's chemical age. It's deciding silently how fast your phone is allowed to run. Apple got caught doing this in secret. Apple got fined for it twice on 2 continents. And the code that does it, still shipping, still active, still throttling, right now on your phone in your pocket. Here's what it's officially supposed to be. Apple calls it performance management. It's baked into iOS as a battery protection feature. Lithium-ion batteries degrade, that's just chemistry. Cold weather, age, charge cycles, they all wear down a battery's ability to deliver peak current. Apple's official line is that this code prevents unexpected shutdowns on aging batteries by capping how much power-hungry components are allowed to draw. On paper, it sounds responsible, a safety mechanism. Something to protect the device, and by extension, you. That was the pitch in every press statement, every support document, every carefully worded footnote. Protect the phone. Nothing about your experience, nothing about your speed. But in December 2017, independent benchmarks caught what Apple hadn't disclosed. Older iPhones, the 6, the 6S, the SE, were running dramatically slower after software updates, not because they were breaking down. Because the code was deliberately throttling their processors. Clock speeds cut, performance capped, and Apple hadn't told a single user this was happening. There was no toggle, no warning, no consent screen, just a silent decision made by Apple's software to slow down millions of devices people had paid full price for, expecting full performance. Users thought their phones were dying. They weren't. They were being throttled on purpose, and the only symptom was a phone that quietly, invisibly got worse. Regulators moved. France's competition authority, the DGCCRF, fined Apple €25 million in 2020 for failing to disclose the throttling to consumers. Italy's antitrust authority, the AGCM, fined Apple separately, calling it an unfair commercial practice. In the United States, Apple settled a consolidated class action for up to $500 million without admitting wrongdoing. Regulators on 2 continents said the same thing. You deliberately slowed people's phones and you didn't tell them. Apple paid. Apple apologized. Apple added a battery health screen so users could supposedly see what was happening. And here's the part nobody reported. The throttling code didn't go away. It's still there. It's still running. What changed wasn't the mechanism. It was the paperwork. Apple didn't remove performance management. They buried a toggle for it 3 menus deep, inside settings, battery health, under a switch most users have never seen, let alone touched. And critically, that switch defaults to on. The throttling still activates automatically, silently, the moment your battery's peak capacity drops below a threshold Apple alone controls. You never agreed to a number, you never saw a warning. The regulators required disclosure, a document buried in a support page satisfies that legally. They didn't require consent. They didn't require the feature to be off by default. That's the loophole. Disclosure isn't control. Apple complied with the letter of every fine while keeping the exact mechanism that triggered them, live, in every iPhone running iOS today. The code that got Apple fined on 2 continents is the same code quietly deciding your clock speed right now. So think about what that means for the phone in your hand. If your battery has degraded, and after 18 months most have, your processor may already be capped, without a single alert telling you it happened. Your apps load slower. Your camera lags opening. Your phone feels old long before its battery is actually dead, and you have no way of knowing in the moment whether that's wear or a decision Apple's software made for you. The only way to check is to go looking. Nobody goes looking. That's the design. A silent default beats an angry headline every time, and Apple learned that lesson from the fines themselves, not to stop, just to stop getting caught the same way twice. So who actually benefits from a phone that quietly slows down as it ages? A company that also sells you the next one. 2 regulators on 2 continents already ruled that Apple hid this from you once, and the exact same mechanism is still deciding your phone's speed today, legally, quietly, by default. If the code was bad enough to fine, why is it still the code running your phone right now?